This Pacers-Timberwolves trade sends Myles Turner to Minnesota. The Indiana Pacers have not been having a good season thus far, and with the NBA trade deadline just about 2 weeks away, big changes seem to be on the horizon for this once contending franchise. Currently 17-31 on the season, the Pacers sit 6 games back from being in the mix for the play-in tournament in the Eastern Conference, and injuries have continued to hurt them this season. Not only is T.J. Warren still out after suffering a foot injury early on last season, but Domantas Sabonis is out with an ankle sprain, Malcolm Brogdon continues to battle an Achilles injury, and Myles Turner is dealing with a stress reaction in his left foot. While not much has been revealed by the team about Turner's injury, ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski reported that the Pacers' big man is expected to be out beyond the February 10th trade deadline this season with his left foot injury. Leading up to the deadline, Myles Turner has been one of the most talked about names on the trade block and had been drawing a ton of interest from various playoff contending teams in the league. Now though, Turner's value has taken a massive hit and the Indiana Pacers' chances of getting what they want for him are low. Having one more year left on his contract, Indiana could very well wait until the offseason to try and trade Myles Turner, but there are still a few teams showing interest in him, one of which is the Minnesota Timberwolves. Having Karl-Anthony Towns, it is a little weird to see the Timberwolves targeting another big man, but their lack of frontcourt depth has hurt them from time to time this season. Plus, the idea of pairing Towns with a rim protector like Myles Turner is definitely intriguing for a Timberwolves franchise looking to make it back to the playoffs for the first time since 2018. Minnesota is currently 24-23 on the season and the 7th seed in the Western Conference right now, so could they look to buy more talent at the trade deadline this season to go along with their formidable trio of Karl-Anthony Towns, Anthony Edwards and D'Angelo Russell? Let's take a look at a trade proposal from Bleacher Report's Greg Swartz that sends Myles Turner to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Indiana Pacers receive Malik Beasley, Minnesota 2022 first-round pick, top 10 protected. Minnesota Timberwolves receive Myles Turner. Since being drafted 11th overall in 2015 by the Indiana Pacers, Myles Turner has spent the last 7 seasons in Indiana and has turned himself into one of the league's best rim protectors. Leading the league in blocked shots 2 of the last 3 seasons, Turner is once again leading the league in blocks this season, which is why he is such a sought-after trade target. Not to mention, he is only owed $17.5 million this season and then $17.5 million next season. In 431 career games with the Pacers, Myles Turner has averaged 12.7 points, 6.7 rebounds, 2.3 blocks and has shot 34.9% from three-point range, but he is heavily underutilized by Indiana. They barely look his way on the offensive end of the floor and have only viewed him as a defensive anchor for them, which is why Turner may be wanting out of his current situation. Recently, when speaking with The Athletic, Myles Turner talked about the Indiana Pacers' recent struggles, and he even went on to say how he feels like he is not valued, and nothing more than a glorified role player, for the Pacers. The 25-year-old center needs a change of scenery, and the Minnesota Timberwolves could wind up being a great fit for him. How things would work out next to Karl-Anthony Towns makes for an intriguing scenario, but the Timberwolves do seem like a team that is one piece away from being special. Towns, Russell and Edwards make up one of the league's best scoring trios, but the Timberwolves are missing that jolt in their rotations. Not only can he be a big difference for them on defense, but Myles Turner can really open up his game as a scorer as well, both in the paint and on the perimeter in Minnesota. The direction the Pacers are heading in is very unclear at this point, but it does seem like they want to continue building around Domantas Sabonis and Malcolm Brogdon. The only way to do so though is to add some more real scoring threats, primarily on the perimeter. Malik Beasley has been a key role player for the Timberwolves since joining them during the 2019-20 season and could wind up being a key secondary scorer for the Indiana Pacers. In 98 games with the Minnesota Timberwolves, Beasley has averaged 16.1 points, 3.8 rebounds and has shot 37.9% from three-point range, giving the Pacers a real shooting threat to lean on next to Chris Duarte on the perimeter. Along with getting an immediate first-round pick in 2022, this could be enough value for the Pacers to trade their defensive-minded big man at the trade deadline. Does this trade make sense for the Indiana Pacers? While they would like to get more value for Myles Turner, it is hard to imagine that the Indiana Pacers will be able to dictate the terms of a Turner-oriented trade at this point. They still definitely have the final say on whether or not they want to trade him, seeing as he is still on their roster, but Myles Turner's injury has caused the Pacers to lose a ton of value. At this point, it would be best for them to cut their losses and just try to move forward with any future value they can. Malik Beasley for Myles Turner straight up does not add up value-wise for the Pacers, but the first-round pick they would be getting from Minnesota in this deal will definitely raise a few eyebrows in the Pacers front office. Not only would they have their own first-round pick, which will likely end up being a top 10 pick at the end of the season, but Indiana would also have a first-round pick that would likely fall anywhere from 15 to 22. This is an immediate path to building a sustainable, young, dynamic team in Indiana, which is why this trade is actually worthwhile for the Indiana Pacers. Malik Beasley, Chris Duarte, Isaiah Jackson and 2 first-round picks in 2022, as well as still having Malcolm Brogdon and Domantas Sabonis makes for a very interesting scenario moving forward for this Pacers franchise. Does this trade make sense for the Minnesota Timberwolves? While they do not need to add another center to their roster, the acquisition of Myles Turner would have some big positive effects on the Minnesota Timberwolves this season. Not only could he and Karl Anthony Towns technically share a frontcourt with Towns sliding over to the power forward position, but the only way for Minnesota to truly be a playoff threat this season is if they can put things together on the defensive side of things. Defense was a key point of emphasis for the Timberwolves in the offseason, as they brought in veteran guard Patrick Beverley, and making a move for Myles Turner would instantly make them a top 10 defensive team in the NBA because of their length and defensive tenacity. A frontcourt duo of Towns and Turner would be the perfect blend of scoring from anywhere on the floor, as well as protecting the rim. Combined, these two centers are averaging 4.1 blocks per game this season, and with them both being able to be viable three-point shooting options, the Timberwolves would be a very hard team to match up against. If too much attention is put on Minnesota's bigs, then they will simply play through D'Angelo Russell and Anthony Edwards, 2 all-star quality scorers in the backcourt. Should teams not step out in pick-and-roll situations, then Towns and Turner will have a field day popping out on the perimeter to knock down threes. Overall, this is a great trade for the Minnesota Timberwolves to make, especially since they are not going to find a better player late in the first round of the 2022 NBA Draft than Myles Turner. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from me again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go.